Law enforcement or?
Law, yeah.
You got that. Just not cool for that. National Enforcement Day.
But there may be instances.
Today, National Enforcement. So, Mayor Becky has a family this morning, so
She left them all ready for me to sign. Yes. Tell him not to run off because he's got 2 or 3 to sign.
you got it. She thinks it's
All right, I'm going to call this meeting of the Sweetwater City Council to order and ask Jim Cargill with Lifehouse to give the invocation this morning, and then Councilman Castro to lead us in the pledges.
Father, I thank you for being able to meet as a city, do business. You've blessed Sweetwater and continue to bless Sweetwater, and I just ask that you would bless our city council and the employees of the city who keep our city finely tuned. For you're a God of organization, and we appreciate what they do. Just bless them in everything they do. In your name I pray, Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Join me in the Texas Pledge of Allegiance.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Chief and Assistant Chief over there, today is National Law Enforcement Day. And we just want you to know that we appreciate everything y'all do, and we'd like for you to please let your men know that too. Thank you. Okay, we'll now move to item 4, which is discuss, consider, and act upon approval of minutes for meeting held on December the 12th.
Make a motion to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, item number 5 calls for public input. At this time, anyone is allowed to speak on any matter other than personal matters or matters under litigation for a length of time not to exceed 3 minutes. No council discussion or action may take place on the matter until such matter has been placed on agenda and posted. Is there anyone who wishes to speak?
Good morning, Council, Mayor. I'm Jerry Stapp, and I'm here representing the Lifehouse community. The Lifehouse community is a transitional housing program. I believe Jim placed a letter from Lauren Rule for you. Lauren wasn't able to be here this morning. He asked me to fill in for him. So the Lifehouse is really just to help people coming out of homelessness or out of incarceration. And it's an opportunity to give people a second chance, a chance to get their feet back under them, to be able to become a contributing member of society. And this has been a dream of Lauren for about 6 years, and we're getting ready to break ground on this project. And there's going to be 10 transitional houses and a laundry office building where we can do counseling and where people can do the laundry. Each one of these buildings will be 14 by 28. They'll be about 392 square feet. And the entire funding for this is from donations from the community. So we've got 3 businesses or community people that are going to donate funding for 3 of these houses. And we estimate them to be about $34,000 to $35,000. They're going to be constructed mostly by volunteer labor. I'm actually going to be the builder overseer of the project. And so what we're here today for is to present a request for a waiver of the permitting fees. And then the permitting fees are estimated to be about $4,300 for this project. And this will allow us to move the project along quicker and faster and to get it to completion if y'all will waive our fees. And we respectfully request that.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else? Now we'll hear a presentation from Mr. Ryan Garcia with JES Holdings, LLC.
Good morning, Mayor and members of council. My name is Ryan Garcia. I'm here on behalf of JES Holdings to discuss a tax credit development we've been working on since 2021, Sweetwater Station. I'm sure some of y'all were on council and are familiar with the project. Make sure I get this right. So just a quick background on the project. I've got a typo in there. It's actually a 52-unit senior development to be located at 1105 East Broadway. If you look where the High Torque building was, that's going to be the main stretch of the building. All 52 units will be on that parcel. And then the one next to it, kind of on Bauckham and 3rd, that was the old dry cleaner, that's going to be the parking lot for the development. This development was awarded an allocation of 9% housing tax credits back in 2021. And that's kind of when the issue started. We purchased the land in 2021. I'm sure as everyone remembers back to 2021, there were a lot of issues. A lot of those issues still have not been resolved in terms of interest rates, construction pricing, equity pricing on the tax credits has now become an issue. We're about 99% of the way through permitting. We just have one minor amendment to make since this has taken so long. The fire code has been updated. We're now adding smoke detection to our elevator cabs. Those should be going in on January 19th, and that's kind of our last outstanding permitting issue. Typically, this project would have closed in the spring of 2021 and would have started construction, but for all of the reasons you can see listed out, the construction has not commenced yet. We demolished the building in the summer of 2021, hoping to get going, but construction pricing came back and it was just not where we needed it to be. As you can see on the slide, we had originally projected about $139,000 a unit in construction. We're now up to $186,000 construction per unit, which you see is a 34% increase. Interest rates have gone up from 5% to 8.5%, and our credit pricing, which is the benefit of the tax credits and the equity coming into the deal, has dropped from 88 cents to 80 cents on the dollar. So that's a 9% drop in the equity coming into the development. Since then, as part of the 2023 round of tax credits, the state allowed for 15% supplemental credits. It helped a little bit, but was not enough to close the gap. We've gone through several rounds of value engineering with several different contractors. Pricing has come down a little bit, but not enough to close the gaps and get us back to what we had originally projected when we were underwriting this development. We're reducing the size as much as we can without compromising the quality on it. We have deferred near all of our fee for the next 15 years. Honestly, at this point, it's not about making money, it's just about mitigating losses. Even with doing all that, we're still facing a $400,000 gap in the development. So we've been turning over every stone. We had a lot of hope for the state housing tax credit that passed in this last legislative session, but they've still been struggling with an interpretation of a fiscal note that cuts the amount of the state credit by a factor of 10. So we were very hopeful that that would work out, and that has not worked out. So ultimately our goal is to try to find a way to right-size this project and make it so we can move forward with the development. In the most ideal world, I would love if there would just happen to be $400,000 lying around, but we know that's not the case. So the next best option that we're asking from y'all is a partnership for a tax exemption. Currently, the property right now is paying just shy of $1,500 every year in property taxes. If the development were to be completed, we would have anticipated just shy of $31,000 a year in property taxes. If through this partnership we reduce taxes to zero, that will allow us to borrow an additional $350,000. If we are able to reduce it to zero or pay current taxes perhaps through a pilot, that would allow us to borrow $335,000. So you can see how even just a small amount of taxes greatly affects the amount of additional money we can borrow to put more debt on the development. So a couple different options. There are various tax abatements. We could go to every taxing jurisdiction and ask for an abatement, or we could, another option would be for the city to create an HFC or Housing Finance Corporation. It is basically a government instrumentality that is specifically designed for partnerships on affordable housing developments. Under Texas law, it allows the property to have a by right property tax exemption in a lot of cases in exchange for the affordability. This is typically done on your 4% LIHTC transactions. It's very common to do it. This is a 9% transaction. The program's not supposed to work out where 9% need the partnerships to happen. And frankly, it's just a failure on our part. When we underwrote the deal, we were assuming pre-COVID pricing that we thought at the time COVID would be a blip and things would come back down to normal, pricing would come back down, interest rates would stay low, equity pricing would stay high, and none of that has happened. So again, I feel terrible about coming here. When we promised this project originally, it was going to be fully on the tax rolls, and this is frankly our last resort to keep the project alive. So I know I'm coming with a very, very big ask. You can see here all the different kind of steps that you can do if there is a city-created HFC. There is quite a bit of paperwork in doing this, but it allows for a certain amount of control over the development. I've got a chart later that's coming up in a few slides that shows the different advantages and disadvantages of each partnership option. There's another option to have a third-party HFC come in. That would entail an organization such as the Texas Housing Foundation coming in with a cooperation agreement with the city and them serving as the HFC general partner for the tax exemption. They also have another instrumentality called a CHODO, or Community Housing Development Organization. That allows for a 50% tax exemption by right, but I put it on here just as an option, but that will not help the deal, unfortunately. We also have the option of a pilot with the tax exemption to at least continue giving the city the revenue that they are currently receiving from the properties right now. So here's the chart I was mentioning earlier. Some advantages to the city HFC is that y'all would come in as the general partner to the deal. We as a developer would be the special limited partner. We would be responsible for all the financial guarantees, getting it built, getting it leased up, getting it managed. The city's HFC would have final say over hiring and firing of the management company, how and when to dispose of the asset. They would have the right of first refusal to buy it after the affordability period in 45 years. They would have a right to the cash flow, 15 to 20% of it, and then a percentage, typically also 15 to 20% of the sale of the property on the back end. The disadvantages to that is that there is some setup required and then continuing monitoring and administration. An advantage of the third-party HFC is that it's basically pre-built. They can kind of step in with that cooperation agreement with the city and handle all the paperwork, the infrastructure is there. Disadvantage is that the city would not have that long-term control. There wouldn't be long-term ownership and not likely cash flow other than a pilot that would come in. The CHODO, again, which is a third option, it would be an experienced housing entity, but again, the same issues with the third party, no control, no long-term ownership, and no cash flow. So, again, I know there is no action item requested on this, but I just wanted to potentially present options. If y'all have any questions or feedback, please let me know. I'll hang out through the whole meeting and can chat with anyone afterwards as well. Sorry, that was a lot of information, so I'll be happy to answer any questions, or I can hang out and talk to anyone individually if that would be preferable.
Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we'll now move to the consent agenda. Consent agenda items are items that are considered routine and may be passed with one vote. Any councilman or a member of the public may ask that the consent agenda items be moved to the regular agenda for discussion. Anyone wishing to move it? If not, do I have a motion for item 7A and 7B on the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
John.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Now move to item 8C, which is discuss, consider, and act upon approving an ordinance ordering an election of the qualified voters of the city of Sweetwater to be held on May 4th, 2024 for the purpose of electing 2 city council members, precinct 2 and 4 of said city.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now read the ordinance into the record. An ordinance of the city of Sweetwater, Texas, ordering a municipal election to be held on May 4, 2024 for the purpose of electing the following officers: council member precinct 2 and council member precinct 4, and providing for matters related to the holdings of such election. Now move to item 8D, which is discuss, consider, and act upon approving a resolution for fiscal year 2023 patrol car replacement project. Any questions? A motion?
I make a motion, we act upon a resolution for fiscal year 2023 patrol car replacement project. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now read the resolution into the record. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Sweetwater, Texas, authorizing the city manager to apply for a public safety grant for the purpose of promoting public safety, reducing crime, and improving the criminal justice system. Okay. We now move to item 8E, which is discuss, consider, and act upon orders declaring structures on described properties within the City of Sweetwater to be dilapidated and or deteriorated and unfit for human habitation, so as to require repair, rehabilitation, and demolish, providing for a time for which to rehabilitate, repair, and demolish such structures, and provide for the repair, rehabilitation, or demolition and removal, and to consider ordering abandonment of 405 Fisher Street, which requires a public hearing for the property. At this time, Jeff Allen, City Attorney, will swear in Lynn Barrett, Director of Planning and Operations, for her testimony regarding the properties in the public hearing.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony that you are about to give in the matter pending before the city council is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Do I have a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
The property in question has been on code enforcement's radar for a number of years prior to my arrival. And the case was slated, I believe, to have been brought before you last year, but it slipped through the cracks. So we have kind of brought this property to you as a deteriorated and dilapidated structure. It is staff's recommendation that you find it not repairable. The property has been mowed, and we've been maintaining it so that it is not overgrown, but it has continued to be deteriorating for quite some time. Any questions? You can see it on the screen.
Is there anyone who wishes to speak regarding 405 Fisher Street? Do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Make a motion, to close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do I have a motion for declaration of dilapidation and or deterioration and unfit for human habitation and order repair, rehabilitation, and or demolish of 405 Fisher Street within 35 days from date of order?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. City Manager's report.
Yes, sir. The first item is the Newman Park Playground Equipment Update. I think we have a picture up there of what the new playground equipment is or looks like. We're very proud of this structure. We can't wait to cut the ribbon on it. It's going to take a little bit of time for staff to get the ground around the playground equipment ready so that the kids can go and play on there, and for us to cut the ribbon. And so if you can give us about 3 to 4 weeks to take care of that, the ground control issues, we'll be ready to get on there, cut the ribbon, make a little spectacle of it, celebrate, the playground equipment going up, and then open it up to the kids of this community so they can go and make their memories. So we're very proud of this project, and I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the staff and everybody involved in getting this funded and getting this set up. It's been a good project, and we're nearly there. So we'll let the council know when and where to show up, and hopefully the weather will cooperate. We won't have a polar vortex like we're going to see in a week or so, and the sun will shine bright, and we'll be able to cut that ribbon and open it up. The next item we have to discuss is the promotion of Justin Clowers as our Utilities Director full-time. Justin did a really, really nice job as the interim for a couple of months, and I made the decision to go ahead and name him the permanent Utilities Director, taking over for Eddie Campbell. Justin really proved himself during that interim period, and I'm proud to have offered him the position, and he accepted, which is a good thing for everybody. And so Justin, congratulations on your promotion.
Thank you very much.
Some more good news on that front. We've had a couple of promotions in the fire department. Battalion Chief Ronald Steggy and Lieutenant Dylan Mozzie have been promoted into those respective positions recently. They couldn't be here this morning to receive your applause, but we do want to take the opportunity to thank them for their service to the fire department and the community, and congratulate them on their promotion. So Chief, if you can pass that along to them, we'd appreciate it.
Sure will.
Thank you, sir. And then a code enforcement update. I'll let Lynn take that on.
This month, or past month in December, we had one staff member that was out for approximately half the month, and we were still short the activity from our newest code member. So you will see there are numbers on the notices, and actions were down somewhat. Staff was busy monitoring the active cases that they have, and as you saw, we brought one forward today. We have several others in the pipeline to bring forward in the next couple of months as well. But our inspections were up and our permits were up. So all in all, we had a pretty busy December, especially because of the holidays. So I just kind of wanted to reiterate that we are busy trying to make a difference on some of these dilapidated and substandard structures, and we are beginning to work with the firm that was approved last month, and there's a sheriff sale that's scheduled later in this month. We'll have over a dozen properties on that list, so that they brought forward that have liens and back taxes from their program that you approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all we have, Mr. Mayor.
Thanks, sir. Motion to adjourn?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.